Last session, we discussed about some important basics of JavaScript, like a JavaScript strict mode and JavaScript MIME type, how we can deal with them. We learned about those points, right? Now, after understanding the few basic points, now we need to know one more important concept. So yesterday we learned how to write JavaScript for a strict mode and how do we handle for legacy browsers, right? We learned about how to handle for legacy browsers, right? Right. Now we will see how we can manage working with JavaScript today. So technically, first important point, what you have to know is in order to deal with JavaScript, the main purpose of JavaScript we learned is JavaScript is used to manipulate the HTML DOM manipulations, client side validations, interactions. The primary concept is DOM manipulation. Now the point here is, after understanding how to write JavaScript inline embedded external file and legacy browsers and strict mode, after knowing about that, now the key concept is how JavaScript refers HTML, how JavaScript can refer HTML elements, how JavaScript can refer HTML elements. This is another major point. That means JavaScript can take control of HTML. It can make HTML dynamic. Now the point is the static DOM into dynamic DOM. The point is how JavaScript will take control of HTML elements. How it will take control of HTML elements. Technically, there are various methods. That means how it refers HTML elements. There are so many things. So there are various techniques of referring HTML elements. For example, see, first in the design, I will create a simple design again for you. So here I am writing doc type HTML head and title and some reference. Okay, reference. And here I will add a script. Okay. In the body section, we are having a simple heading. So here I defined heading simply like so HTML and JavaScript, and we are adding a div. In that we have an image. So width is some 100, height is 100, border is some 1, but image source is not defined. And we have another div. In that we have a form. In the form we have a name, we have a text box, input type is equal to text, and we have a button. So input type is equal to button. Button don't have any value, it is just button. Now when I run this, you can see that here. Currently we have a page. In the page we have image, we have text box, and we have button. They are all empty. I want JavaScript to take control of that image and put an image dynamically. I want JavaScript to take control of this button and put value for button dynamically. So why you want dynamically? Because they can be changing according to my actions. In that case, we have to know how to put them dynamically. Means how JavaScript can take control of image, how JavaScript can take control of button, how it can refer them, how JavaScript can refer. So actually, I want JavaScript to take control when the body loads, when the body loads. Then for body event, for the body we are writing an event on load, body load. What is event? How to write events we will discuss later. Initially, on load indicates what should happen when the page loads, when the body loads. And on load, it calls a function called body load. So on load is an event name which is predefined. That means it should be written in the same way. Body load is our own function name. You can write any name for the function. Later you will detailedly learn about events. That means when body loads, this function will be called. But that function is not written. So we will write the function. That means we have to write function body load. Don't worry about what is function, how to write functions and all. That is what we are going to learn. That means we are not into JavaScript yet. We are learning the basics to understand JavaScript, right? So body load is a function. Now the point here is when body loads script, here I will define type as text JavaScript. Not mandatory, but I told you, right? The MIME type. So now the point here, when page loads, I want JavaScript to take control of this picture. And I want JavaScript to take control of this button. So how JavaScript can take control of HTML elements? How JavaScript can refer HTML elements? First point is JavaScript can refer HTML elements by using DOM hierarchy. JavaScript can refer HTML elements by using DOM hierarchy. What is DOM? Document Object Model. And what is DOM hierarchy? Already we learned. When we started HTML, we discussed about DOM. And you have the diagram in your notes also. We discussed about DOM and we have learned about DOM. And this is what actually the DOM hierarchy is. This is the DOM. The document object model. This is the DOM. And in the DOM hierarchy, actually, this is the DOM hierarchy. In this hierarchy, where is image? What is the hierarchy of image? Where is image? Actually, image is present in this hierarchy. See, the images are present here. And you can observe that images is an array. It is an array. That means more than one. And images are present in document. They are present in document. And document is present in window. That means the parent is window. In the window, you have document. In the document, we have images. So that is where images are present. JavaScript can use this hierarchy. And it can access elements by using this hierarchy. It can directly use this hierarchy. So how? Let's see now. Now I will go to the design. As we saw in the design, how to access the image. What is the hierarchy of image? One more time, observe here in the design. One more time, observe here. The parent is window. So one more time, observe here. So the parent is window. In the window, we have document. In the document, we have images. And images is an array. Okay, let's go to our code. What is the parent? Parent is window. In window, we have document. In document, we have images. Images is an array. Array means we use meta character, square brace. And collection, index number. Images are referred by using index number. You can see we have currently only one image. That means its index number image index number. Out of all images, that image index number is 0. And it is an image. Image usually have .src source is equal to, image source is equal to, I will apply the source // images / in that some earpods, right? Earpods / .jpg. That is the image source. Now JavaScript can take control of that particular image and dynamically it can put an image. And I refresh here, it has to get and display that image. So this is how JavaScript takes control over HTML elements. So by using DOM hierarchy. Now according to DOM hierarchy, observe, now I have to take control of this button and I need to put some value in the button. Then let's go to the design. Now in the DOM hierarchy, let's observe where we are having the button, Actually, button is present here. So that means button is one of the element in elements. So collection is elements. Elements is present in forms. Forms is also again collection. And forms present in document present in window. That means what is the hierarchy of button? Where button is present? The parent is window. In the window document, in the document forms. Forms is an array. In the forms elements is again array. In the elements we have button. This is not order. All are present in elements. Now the point is, see the hierarchy now. First, what is the hierarchy here? The first, I am writing on body load, window, in window document, in document forms, and observe carefully. Currently, forms is an array. And currently, how many forms are present in our page? We have only one form in the page. So that form will be referred with index 0. There can be more than one forms, right? And dot, in the forms we have elements. Elements is again array. Now observe in the form, how many elements are present? In the form, 2 elements are present. One is text box, another one is button. Name is just label, it's not element. So just text. So we have 2 elements. Text box is element, button is element. Now what is the index number of text box? In elements, the text box is 0, button is 1. That means in elements, the index 1 refers to button. And button usually have a dot value. Button usually have a value. Button value is equal to, we will keep the button value here. As 1 second, right? Okay, fine. Now, window is the parent. In the window, you have a document. In the document, we have forms. Currently, we have only one form, which can refer with index 0. In that, we have elements. Elements, two elements are there. In that, we want button. That means its index number is 1. And a value. And the value is, button value is, I want submit as button value. Submit as button value. I will save this and I will refresh. You can see JavaScript will take control of that button and can keep that submit button here. So this is what actually the meaning of DOM hierarchy. DOM hierarchy. That means how it can take control. The basic hierarchy. This is how actually JavaScript understands HTML. This is the primary concept actually. But one of the main problem here is the references. Here everything is through index number. That means it is referring through index number. It is referring through index number. That means how it has referred. So syntax, it has referred like this. Window, in that document, in that images. Remember, DOM is already learned. We discussed about DOM in the beginning of HTML itself. Because many people here currently attending our session, they doesn't belong to our 4 p.m. batch actually. They just got the link and they are attending the class. So now don't ask what is DOM and what is the purpose of DOM and all. Why? Because if you are our regular person, actually I given the concept of DOM and its hierarchy in the first session of HTML itself when we started HTML. So I don't need to again explain about the DOM concept again. We are directly using the DOM elements hierarchy. The diagram and architecture also our people have in the notes regularly. So here when we are dealing with the DOM hierarchy, one of the main problem, it is referring to the index numbers. It is referring to the index numbers. That means images of 0, 1, 2, 3. Similarly, if it is form, then we are using window dot document dot forms. Forms have an index number. Then in that elements have an index number. Now what is problem in this approach is nothing but this is the primary way. That means it can, this is how JavaScript understands and access HTML. But the problem in this approach is, one of the major problem in this approach is, so if we change the position, if we change the position of any element in page, then we have to change it in the logic also. Change it in the logic. We have to change it in the logic every time. That means if we change the position of element in page, then we have to change it in the logic every time. We have to update it in the logic every time. You can simply say that we have to update it. We have to update it in the logic every time. We have to update it in the logic every time. That is what actually the problem. I will show you the problem. What is the problem? That means, for example, now in the form, text box is at 0 and button is at 1 index. That is what I written in the logic. Elements of 1 means I am not referring to button. I am referring to an element which is present at one index. Now, due to some reasons, what I have done is later in my design, I made some changes. What are those changes? I removed the button from here and I kept the button above text box. That means now the index number of button changed. Now at one index, there is no button, there is text box. Then once I refresh, you can see submit is applied to text box, not to the button. Submit is applied to the text box, not to the button. So this is the major problem. This is the major problem while working with the major problem while dealing and working with DOM hierarchy. That means what I have to do again. So now button index number changed. Then what I have to do again I need to go here. I need to change elements of zero, and I refresh, then again it is okay now. But again, if any another element added in between, or text box is sent above the button, then again the same issue will come. Every time I need to update that logic. That means again I need to go there, change its index number to 1 and update it. So this is not the right way. This is not the right way to handle, but it is one technique of handling. It is not the same right way every time to handle. It is not the same right way to handle. But this is one technique we use regularly whenever situation demands. This is how actually it can understand the complete DOM hierarchy in a proper way. Right? That's how actually JavaScript can take control over HTML native. This is the native technique. Native technique means primarily it knows like this one. But this is difficult for developer because it has a lot of issues. Changing the position, changing the index numbers every time we need to update. This is risky. That's the reason. What we can do here is, this is the reason. What we can do here is we can use several other techniques. What are those? So I will give example for this first. This is the example. I will copy it. And this is an example. This example is to just make you understand about how to handle the DOM hierarchy. This is an example. Now, what is another method? Second important is you can refer. That means you can say JavaScript can refer HTML elements. JavaScript can refer HTML elements by using their reference name. JavaScript can refer HTML elements by using their reference name. By using their reference name means, so every HTML element can have a name. Every HTML element can have a name. JavaScript will use that name. So that is more better than DOM hierarchy for developers. I will tell you that how we can handle that situation. We will see that. So the first point is how it can handle that situation. Let's see. The first point here is I'm reviewing these two. Okay. And I will save and refresh. Now image and button text not there. Okay. Now let's go to image and give a name for image as pic. Okay. And a name for text box as txt name. a name for button as btn submit. And you know that names are just for reference. Names are just for reference. Names are just for reference. I will refresh. Writing the name will not affect anything here. But what is the ability now? JavaScript can refer the names directly. That means now JavaScript can refer those elements by name. So here I am writing, so pick directly name. Pick refers to that image dot src is equal to the name, what you want. I want images slash earbuds, earpods slash jpg, and I will save it. This time I am not using DOM hierarchy. I am using the name given for that element. And I will save this and I will refresh here. Now it is also working fine. This time you are referring by using the name. You are referring by using the name. And you don't need any DOM hierarchy. Directly you can refer by using the name and access that element. That is what we can do by using this technique. That is one important technique how you can manage your application. Means how you can take control of this. But referring by name has some problems. You can refer by name, but it has some problems. What are the problems? Name can be common for many elements. That we know that. I told you already. Name and ID difference we learned. ID is unique, but name can be common. That means sometimes you are writing name, it can refer to several elements automatically. It can refer to several elements automatically. That means it can refer to several elements automatically. Because many elements can have the common name. One more problem in the name is you cannot directly access a child element without referring to parent element. You cannot directly access a child element without referring to parent element. This is one problem. I will show you that problem. For example, image is not any child element. Directly it is present in the page. Means according to its nature, it is not a child element, right? It is directly present. You are accessing it. But observe, actually button, text box are the child elements of form. Form is the parent element. We have form, we have the options like ordered list, unordered list, table cells, parent and child hierarchy. That means now what we are doing here is form is having a name. Form also should have a name. Parent element should also have a name. FRM home, that is the name for the form. Now, without referring the parent element, I am trying to refer this button, btn submit. I will write here, btn submit dot value, because it is a button. I will keep here, btn submit dot value is submit. I am writing submit. I will save this and I will refresh, and you can see the button is not there. That means the button value is not there. Submit is not there. And I can see here, you can see save. I refresh here and you can see it's not there. Because button is a child element and you cannot refer to the child elements directly when you are referring to name. You have to refer to its parent element and child element. What is the parent element? FRM home. That means here what we have to do, FRM home dot, in FRM home, we have button, in that button value, and I will save this and I will refresh. It is working fine. That means now what is problem? What is problem in referring by using name? The problem in referring by using name. So the name can be common for many elements. Another point is you cannot directly access the child element without referring the parent element. So that is the issue. However, the point is simple. So however, what is advantage now? Suppose I am changing the position. I remove the button from here. And I keep the button above the text box. Even I change the position, it doesn't matter. Button will be button on. Because the point is, because you are not referring to index number. That means wherever it is present inside the form, so its name will be used for reference. So no issue will be there. That problem we have solved. But it will reduce little bit the effort also, because you can write the names and easily access the elements. But the problem is, in order to refer the child elements, you have to refer the parent also compulsory. That is the problem in reference by name. And name can be common for several elements. Then there will be a conflict for them. So that is the reason. So we cannot depend on the name also every time. But don't think that it is not good. So it is good in several occasions. It is not suitable in several occasions. Remember, if anybody asked you which one is the best one, that is the foolish question, dumbest question. Why? Because which one is the best one? I will decide according to my situation of that particular page, right? So now you cannot say that this is the best and others are not best. If others are not best, then why they have provided those other options, right? That means as per the situation, we need to deal with them. That is important, right? Yeah. So it is nothing like which one is best and which one is not best, right? We need to understand that, right? Initially, so how we are dealing with this is important. So example for this, we can take an example for this. In this, we are referring by using name. So that is by reference by DOM hierarchy and reference by name. Now another important technique is JavaScript. JavaScript can refer HTML elements by using their ID. This will be a better solution for the above problems. So ID allows to access directly any element without following parent and child hierarchy. That's good. Another point is ID is unique for elements. That means there cannot be another element with the same ID. It should be unique for elements, that we know already. And you can access by using the function. The function we have to use document.getElement by ID. Remember, JavaScript is case sensitive. Capitalization matters. That means how you write uppercase, lowercase, the capitalization matters. the capitalization matters, right? That means you have to write in the same way. If you mismatch this, then it will not work. So get element by ID is a function of document object. This function allows you to access any element by using ID without following the parent and child hierarchies. Without following parent and child hierarchies. That means, for example, here I am defining, I am removing this now. I am removing this. Name references I am removing. And I will save this and refresh. It's empty now again. This time I have an ID for every element. You know that every element can have an ID and name both also. ID tick, okay, and ID txt name, and ID btn submit, and form also have an ID frm form. We don't need for others actually. Initially you can see it is empty, nothing is there. Now I want to access image. Here I have to simply write document dot get element by ID, and which element, which ID is pic, and it is a picture, then it will have dot src source is equal to dot slash images slash earpods slash jpg. That means it is referring to it. And I will refresh. You can see it will put a picture there. I want to refer to button. Button is present actually inside form. And previously with name you saw that without referring the form, if I try to refer the element, it's not working. Then what we can do here, we can simply use document get element by ID. Directly we can refer btn submit. No need to refer the form. So as button is a value, is having value, and value is submit. This is how we can refer. This is how we can refer. Now when I save this and refresh, you can see that is also working fine. But this time I don't need to follow the parent-child hierarchies. Element can be accessed from any location directly. Element can be accessed from any location directly. Just you have to refer its ID. You have to refer this ID, right? That means which one is best? There is nothing like best, because ID also have some problems. What is the problem? CSS uses ID selector. JavaScript uses ID selector. Many times our server-side technologies also uses an ID selector. Due to that, there will be conflict with IDs sometimes when we are dealing with client-side and server-side integrations. Sometimes when we are working with CSS and JavaScript combinations. So it's not like this is the best one. So that means the point here is, you know, CSS uses an ID selector. So CSS also will use ID. Then it may create a problem in certain occasions to deal with that particular element. That is the reason you cannot say that this is the best. It depends on our requirements and the situation. So all are different methods of accessing. And the example for this is this. You can just use document get element by ID. Get element by ID. Now, not only referring the elements by using ID, actually JavaScript can refer elements, can refer HTML elements by using their tag name. JavaScript can refer HTML elements by using their tag name also. That means sometimes we need to access the elements by using tag names. Why? Because, for example, I want to know how many divs are used in this page, so that I can collect all the divs and handle those divs dynamically. I want to know how many headings are used in this page so that I can collect all the headings and use them. How you know that? All the divs are designed by using div tag. All the headings, all the paragraphs are designed by using heading 2, heading 3 or P. Now, how do I know how many divs are used in this? Then what I can do is I can simply use the function. By using the function document dot get elements by tag name, and remember, get elements by tag name, elements, yes. Wherever you see the word plural in computer programming, that means it refers to collection. Whenever you are referring plural, that means it is referring to a collection. It is referring to a collection. It is very important. That means get elements by tag name. That means with the same tag name, so many elements may be there. It will collect all those elements and keep them in an array. What is array? How to deal with array? Later we will learn about that. So that means it is returning the collection. So I am writing here document dot get elements by tag name. And what is the tag name? Div. That is the tag name. That means it will return the list of all divs which we need to store in some reference. I am storing variable var some x is equal to. That means in x variable, it is storing the collection of all divs. We can get them and manipulate them in so many ways. Forget about that. That is not the concept here. The concept is how it refers by tag name. And now all the collection is present in this x. X is an array. Then what we do here, I am keeping an alert saying that total number of divs. So how many divs are used? Total number of divs. So divs, right? Yeah. Total number of divs. How many divs are used? I want to keep the count. That is x is an array. Dot length, it will return how many are there. That means length will return the count of divs present inside that particular collection. And I refresh here. And when I refresh, you can see it says total number of divs are 2. It says that total number of divs. So how many divs are present? So we have 2 divs. Total number of divs are 2. So you can see that in the page we are having 2 divs. This is one div and this is another div. If one more div is added, even if we don't have any content, then it will say total number of divs are 3. It says total number of divs are 3. And in the divs, what is present? So, and what IDs and names those divs are having, all that we can access. That for that you need to understand various logics. We will learn about them. Initially, this is another important point, that HTML can even refer, JavaScript can even refer HTML elements by using their tag name also. That means there is no ID, there is no name. So without DOM hierarchy, we can even access by using directly tag name. And this is an example of accessing the elements by using tag name. We have to use the function get elements by tag name and the element. It will return that collection so that we can find out the length and understand how many are present. So you can refer anything, how many tables are present, how many rows are present, right? These all we can verify. So by using get elements by tag name. Not only that, JavaScript can refer HTML elements elements by using their class name. Can refer the HTML elements by using their class name. That means, several elements may be using some CSS classes. And how many elements are using those CSS classes? We can refer that by using class name. For that, we have to use document.getElements by class name. By class name. It is a function which is used to get the list of all elements that are using any specific class. For example, suppose here we are having a link relation is equal to style sheet, and href is equal to node modules, and bootstrap slash dist we have css and slash bootstrap.css, and here I am applying the bootstrap, and so body have a class called container, and here we are having the class, various classes we are applying. That is, one class is form group, another class is again form group, class as form group, another class as form group, and here, so we are refreshing, and it will have little bit of bootstrap. Now, how many form group classes are there? I want to know. Then we can simply use, instead of get elements by tag name, we can simply say get elements by class name. By class name. And what is the class name? Class name is form group. How many elements are using form group? Total number of form group. Form group. How many elements are using form group? And it can access that list and show, and it will say that there are 2 elements using form group. That means how many elements are using that particular class. We can refer the elements by using their class name also. Class name also. That we can manage by using get elements by class name. So elements by class name. So JavaScript can refer HTML elements in so many ways. So these are few. Some more methods are there how they can access. So if you know this, then only we can start working with HTML and JavaScript, because first you should know how it takes control, how it refers. Then we can understand how to manipulate and handle various situations, right? Some more references are there about how it can handle. That we will see in the next session. So Monday we will discuss about that. Okay. Then we can start working with several examples also. Okay. Thank you.